In the midst of the chaos, our sergeant's voice cut through the fray, barking orders as we struggled to hold our ground. The six-legged swarm advanced relentlessly, and I gripped my plasma rifle, my hands trembling with fear. Peering over the barricade, my heart raced as I saw the oncoming tide of enemies, a mountain of insectoid creatures known as biters. Our artillery mowed down swaths of them, but for every 10 that fell, 50% more surged forward. The swarm moved in waves, a grotesque sea of scaly, scuttling flesh. Plasma bolts tore through groups of them, but the smaller swarmers used their numbers to overwhelm us, pushing our defenses to the brink. "Keep at it, brothers," our sergeant shouted. "Reinforcements are on the way." A collective cheer rose among the men, but the hope was short-lived. A larger creature, a Praetorian with menacing blade appendages, emerged from the mass of swarmers. It charged us, using the smaller swarmers as a shield. Our plasma bolts barely made a dent, struggling to cut through the sheer volume of bodies and the formidable Praetorian itself. I felt paralyzed with fear, unable to do anything but aim and fire. It was a grim scenario. We would either be obliterated by the Praetorian or forced to evacuate before the artillery strike to cleanse the position. In a surreal twist, explosions erupted around us, the air filled with the deafening roar of projectiles tearing through the swarm. It was as if time had slowed. Thousands of projectiles flew, shredding both the swarmers and the Praetorian. Some projectiles cracked the creature's armor, while others deflected off, causing immense damage to the swarmers. As the dust settled, an unfamiliar aircraft appeared, diving swiftly and unleashing a storm of metal and chemical rockets. The battle that had raged for nearly 2 months was over in minutes. The new aircraft, like a bird of prey, cleared the battlefield with precision. We stood in awe as 10 more aircraft arrived, their guns and engines unlike anything we had seen before. The new arrivals dove into the fray, and with a flurry of activity the tide of battle turned. The swarm, once seemingly endless, began to falter. The aircraft continued their assault, clearing out the last remnants of the swarm. Amidst the chaos, our reinforcements finally appeared. Small, unfamiliar figures, short ones, as we called them, took control of the battlefield with impressive efficiency. They wielded advanced weaponry and moved with an agility that left us astounded. Their technology and tactics were unlike anything we had ever encountered. One of these beings approached me, using gestures to demonstrate the superiority of their weapons over ours. With a series of quick, precise movements, they conveyed that our plasma rifles were effective against the larger threats, while their guns were better suited for the swarm. Understanding dawned upon me, and I rallied our troops. "Focus fire on large targets only," I commanded. "Let the short ones handle the swarm." As we reformed our line, the short ones engaged with their powerful weapons. A torrent of metal rained down on the swarm, breaking their ranks and forcing them into retreat. Their precise, coordinated strikes caused the Praetorians to fall back, a new pattern emerging in their behavior. For the first time in 600 years of war, we saw a real turning point. The short ones, with their formidable weaponry and tactics, helped us achieve a victory that had seemed unattainable. The tide of battle had shifted, and for the first time in a millennium, the swarm was on the retreat. We celebrated our hard-won victory. Our joy mingled with a newfound respect for our new allies. The short ones, with their advanced technology and strategies, had not only saved us, but had changed the course of our long, desperate struggle. The horde was still vast, but with the help of these new friends, we were finally turning the tide. Our celebration was cut short by the arrival of additional supplies and war machines. The battle was over, but the fight was far from finished. 6 months after that first encounter, we had turned a stalemate that lasted 1,000 years into a series of victories. Humanity's involvement had shifted the balance, and together, we pressed forward with renewed determination to drive back the horde and reclaim our worlds. The once hollow victories were now filled with hope and tangible progress. The human presence had turned the tide, and with their help, we were poised to eradicate the horde once and for all.